Good morning. This is Sach with Posh Pooch Designs, and this is our live video chat. And just in case you don't know, I try to have a live video chat every Tuesday morning at 9:30 a.m. Mountain Time. And today, you can see I've got my Broncos cup because football season has started. Good morning, Elizabeth. I'm so glad you joined in. And in case some of you don't know, Elizabeth Spivey is my daughter, and she has Callie's Clips and Crochet Creations. So she's got a new blog up today. She's in a blog hop group for pooling, yarn pooling. So that's a really fun blog hop. You ought to go and check that out. Good morning, Michelle. Clink in. Isn't this the coolest cup? I have to tell you, I don't really know a lot about football, but I do enjoy sitting and watching it with my husband. He has to kind of explain it as we go. But we were in Walgreens the other day, and they had their Broncos stuff on clearance, and I guess it was stuff left over from last year. So I got this awesome Broncos cup. This is like a metal decal on the front, and I got it for like $2.50. I'm like, who's not going to buy that? It's a great big cup, and it's got a Bronco on there. So anyway, today I've got a bunch of stuff to show you. Like, again, my table here is just loaded with lots of new stuff. But something I wanted to tell you that I'm getting a little bit excited about is my husband and I have been talking a lot about my YouTube channel. And Elizabeth says Aiden would love my cup. You know what? I might just give it to him because I love my Aiden that much. Tell him come visit me and I'll give him the cup, okay? That's called a bribe to get my grandson here. Anyway, my husband and I have been talking a lot about what we want to do with my YouTube channel to make it even better and more fun for you. So we're checking out some new equipment, maybe getting a couple of new lights and cameras and all of that stuff for the brand new year. So be looking for that after the first of the year. Something else, I've gotten a ton of questions. I mean, almost daily basis this time of year with people asking me how to price their crochet items. And so I thought it would be great. Elizabeth says, awesome. I thought it would be great to do a little video to kind of explain to you. Good morning, Jeanette. It's good to see you. Make sure you clink in. I'm so glad I can see the comments again. That was like crazy that day when I couldn't see your comments because I felt like I was talking to myself, which I have been known to do, so. Okay, so, I forgot what I was going to say. Oh, we're talking about how to price your crochet items, and it can be really, really confusing not knowing what to do. And so this is what I tell people. Don't overthink it. Keep it simple. And what I do, and I'm just going to put this out there, what I do sometimes, because every situation is different and you have to go with your gut sometimes about what you're going to do. And sometimes it does have to do with something that's really popular. Good morning, Teresa. Clink in. And sometimes you have to kind of go with what it's made out of and all those things. So I have kind of a basic strategy. I take the items that I'm going to use, like the yarn. If there's any buttons, snaps, Velcro, ribbons, any extra stuff that I have to purchase, and if I have a special item and I have to purchase a pattern, all of those things are included in the price. And let's say I spent $20 on yarn, buttons, ribbons, and the crochet pattern. Okay, that's $20. Then my time is very valuable to me. And so I charge $10 an hour for my time. So if I spent $20 on materials and I spent 1 hour to make it, or maybe 5, I multiply that by $10 an hour. Well, we'll just say 1 hour. So I spent $20 on materials. I spent 1 hour working on it. That's $30. And that's about what I would price something. Now, Another thing to remember is if it's a custom item. Good morning, Gail. Good to see you. Oh, she loves watching my videos. Thank you. I know I'm nuts. I'm a little crazy, but we got to have fun. Anyway, so we came up with that price. Now, if it's a custom item where you have to spend a little more time designing, sketching, coming up with extra parts of a pattern, I charge that in the time area. If I have to do something super duper extra, like someone says, I want you to make a dog sweater, and I want it to look like Elsa the princess. Well, I don't have a pattern that I've written exactly like Elsa the princess. So I'm going to have to maybe get some tulle or spend a little bit of time researching. And so those things also need to be included in the price. And what I usually do is I add an extra $5 to $10 for a custom item that I don't have out there. And that's kind of what I do. I think a lot of times in pricing crochet items, we overthink. Well, I did this, and then I did this, and then I did this. And the thing is, the customer that's purchasing from you, hello, Linda, it's good to see you. The customer or the person who is purchasing from you doesn't really understand a lot of those things. They see the things that you make and they think you can do anything. And they don't realize the time and the effort and the searching of the perfect yarns that go into that. Now remember, when you're considering your pricing, if you used a coupon and you got that skein of yarn for $1.50 instead of the regular $5, you don't charge them the $1.50. You charge them the price of the regular yarn of what it would cost without getting it on sale. And the reason you do that is because a lot of times you might not have that on hand and you're going to have to run out and get another one and pay full price for it. And so you don't want to be constantly adjusting those prices. So if you use a coupon or a special ad or you got it at a special price, that's a bonus for you as the designer. Because if you think about it, a person who designs clothing for say, Neiman Marcus or something, they design this special shirt. You purchase that special shirt. They have no idea behind all the sketching, drawing, sizing, testing, photography, and all of those things that go in to just getting a nice looking product. And the other thing about crochet is the person who designs that special shirt for Neiman Marcus, if someone wants to make it, they don't make a pattern for it, somebody else does. And so what you're doing is you're not only are you designing, you're making a pattern, you're testing, you're taking pictures. And actually next week, I really want to talk about what it takes to design a crochet pattern. And I might do that in two talks, I might do it in one, but I do want to talk about that because I think it really is an important subject for people to understand that it's more than just grabbing a skein of yarn and whipping something out. And I get people that tell me all the time, well, your prices are high. I can go to, say, Walmart and buy yarn for $3. And then I say, okay, well, go wear that skein of yarn then. Because my design and my time and my efforts and my designing efforts, they're important. Hi, Petra, I didn't see you squeak in there, girl. Clink, go Broncos. That's right, Mary. So anyway, those things all need to be included in there. But again, don't overthink it. That's why I have just a basic way of doing things. The materials, plus $10 an hour, plus $5 or $10, depending on how much custom work that you have to do. Now, one thing also to remember is that you need to communicate with your customers. And there's two things I always tell people: communication and get the money up front. And a lot of people struggle with that. They're like, oh, I just don't feel right asking for the money up front. The reason that I do that is for another two reasons. Number one, they understand ahead of time what I expect from them. And then the customer also, when you're going through and communicating, they understand ahead of time what to expect from you. And it's important that they understand okay, if they want to choose a certain yarn, this is how much it costs. And if they want homemade polymer clay buttons or they want pearl buttons, the pricing is different. And so those things need to be communicated up front to the customer. Okay? So just to break it down so you don't overthink it, the materials plus $10 an hour plus $5 to $10 more if it's an extra special custom item with lots of parts and pieces and extra things you have to buy. And then when they're asking questions, because mine usually come through Etsy, that's where I get most of my custom order questions from. And when they're asking those questions, I lay it all out. You know, especially if it's for a dog sweater, because dog bodies are weird. I don't know if any of you ever made sweaters for dogs, but their bodies are weird. And you almost have to think backwards. Which helps, because I kind of think backwards anyway. Hi, Denise. I didn't see you pop in either. My comments are going so fast today. I'm so excited by that. Hi, Jessica. Glad to see you. So anyway, remember to clink in. Clink, clink, clink. Go Broncos. So anyway, like I said, that's how I break it down. Now, of course, there will be times when you'll give a special discount to a friend or a family member, or you're making it as a gift. Don't apply those to your basic prices. If someone's a dear, dear friend of you and you want to make them a baby blanket for $10, you do it. Because those are things that are special. Okay? And now what I'm talking about is your business. You're running of your business, making a little money. I call it making money to support my yarn habit. Because I kind of do have one. You know. And like I said, this isn't all of it. I was talking to my husband the other night. We're kind of brainstorming about what we want to do at the first of the year to change up some of my stuff. And like I was saying at the beginning of the video, we're going to come up with some new cameras and some new lighting and kind of do some new fun things to get my YouTube channel even a little more exciting and fun. But, you know, we're like looking in my closet and in some drawers and in some cabinets. I have a cabinet that runs the whole length of my room in front of me. And underneath it is tons more yarn because I have an issue, okay? Okay, so Denise says, what about friends who keep asking and taking advantage of your low price for them? This is what you need to do. Sometimes you need to put your foot down and you need to say, look, I run this business to help pay my bills. I do. I run this business to help pay for my dog's vet bills and for some of the other incidentals that come up, especially if you have children. Think about all the things you have to pay for in schools that are extra, all the extracurricular activities, uniforms, and things like that. And that's what that's the whole reason of having a little bit of a business. And what you need to say is, you know, if you can, type it up on your computer, make you a spreadsheet, or just even a piece of paper that has those things on it. Materials plus time plus custom, and these are my prices, and make them pay up front. Some people only do 50% up front, and I just found that just didn't work because in the end they asked for their money back. If you communicate everything up front, then they'll back off. And it's really hard with friends and close family, close friends. It's really hard, but you've got to be strong and remind them. Oh, thank you. She says, I look well and pretty. Thank you so much. You know, I'm feeling a lot better. My doctor, because, you know, you have to go in for blood work after you have thyroid issues and stuff. She keeps changing my medicine. And last week I was like, oh, my word, no more. But I'm starting to adjust and I'm feeling a lot better. And my husband even, and I'm going to give you a little hint here. I lost a little bit of weight. That's really cool. But my husband even said I'm starting to look a little better, get the color back in my face and stuff. The only thing, you know, when you're on thyroid medicine, you lose a lot of your hair. And the hair that's coming back in is all gray. Ah! But that's okay. It's hair. So anyway, like I was saying, put your foot down, print up your way you do things, your materials, plus your time. And then if your friends still say, you know, that's just too expensive, then look them straight in the eye and say, is not my time valuable? Do you not get paid by the hour at your job? You know, and there's a way to say it that you can be kind and nice at the same time, but be firm. Put your foot down. Oh, I just appreciate you saying I look better. Thank you. So, oh, hello, Alexandra. You snuck in too. Click in. I hope I didn't miss anybody. I hope everybody's clicked in. All right. So that's our talk for today. And I hope it helped you to get a little bit of an understanding. The main thing is don't cut yourself short. Stand firm because your time is valuable. All right, so let's talk about some things that are going on this week. Now, every year between September and December, I do what's called a sample sale. And what that is I load a bunch of things onto Etsy really, really cheap. It doesn't go with what we were talking about. And it's a great way to pick up some items for Christmas at inexpensive prices. Is your name Delisha? Oh, what a beautiful name. Clink in. I must have missed you. From Maryland, it looks like. I'm so glad you're here. I love seeing new names and new faces. It's so much fun to know who's popping in and where you're from. So anyway, let's get back to I love your name. That's a beautiful name. So anyway, let's get back to what I was saying about the sample sale. Every year from September to December, I think about December 15th, I put out a lot of my items out there for very inexpensive prices that are samples from testers and tested products. And let me just give you a hint. This is just one stack. I've got hats and bags and cows and things. And what I do is I take a bunch of pictures. I put them on Etsy at real cheap prices, between $10 and $15, free shipping. And I'll put them out there, and then I'll put a whole bunch of pictures on Facebook that you can pop over and see if there's anything you want to purchase for Christmas. And you can get, they're really nice items like this mustache hat, you know, $10, free shipping. And that's what I do just to clear out a lot of my samples. They're all brand new items. What they are is they're either items that somebody ordered from me and changed their mind because I didn't get the money up front probably, or they just changed their mind. And also, a lot of them are samples from, like I have tested my ponytail hats. So I've got 3 or 4 tests here. And I just sell them for $10 just to get them out there. People can have them and use them, and I can make a little cash. And then I have a little Christmas money to buy presents for my grandkids. Woohoo! So anyway, I'll get that all out there. That's just to let you know. Be looking for that. And I'm constantly adding new items to it as other things sell. Okay, and remember, they're going to be nice and cheap and free shipping. That's the way I do that. Okay, now, what are the items we got going on this week? Well, I made this cowl. Has the Broncos colors and a little football. And I also made this can cozy, similar Broncos, but you can add and change whatever colors that you want. And, of course, this one back here is a stadium blanket. This one was a gift for someone that I made, and I thought I'd just make these and give them to him. Hope he doesn't mind that I wore them first. Anyway, those are free patterns. I did not make a video on those, on these 3 things yet. That doesn't mean I won't. I just wanted to go ahead and get them out there because they're a gift for somebody. All right, so those are 3 free crochet patterns. You can find those on my blog. And then last week we did our I almost said May. My goodness, this is September. We did our September square. Now, if you're not aware of what we're doing, every month we do a 6-inch square. And the inspiration is the monthly birthstone. And, of course, this is Sapphire for September. Really simple pattern. Lots of fun. And this is, of course, the 9th one. When we finish, we'll have 12 6-inch squares with the birthstones as inspiration. And then in January, we're going to put them all together. And Linda asked how you get to our blog. Underneath this video, I'm going to post a link. And the same thing when I put this over on YouTube, I'll put the link underneath the video, which I always do every week. And then you can just click through and find the information that you want. I always put what we talked about on the blog. And but my blog is just poshpoochdesigns.com on Blogspot. But if you just Google www.poshpoochdesigns.com, it will take you to my webpage, and then there's a thing you can click that says blog or Etsy or contact. But www.poshpoochdesigns.com. All right, Penny's from Louisiana. Did you all get any of that flooding in Louisiana that was in Texas? And now they're saying there's a hurricane in Florida. That is such a scary time of year. Hurricanes are scary. And of course, there's fires all over the West Coast with Washington and California, and Montana's getting it really bad. And yesterday, we had so much smoke here in Colorado, you couldn't even see the mountains. It was scary. Okay, so this is our Sapphire September Square. That happened last week. And one other video we're going to do, I didn't get my testers back on this hat last week. So hopefully tomorrow we're going to get the video up for this one and the blog. This is a free pattern, the emoji hat with the heart eyes. And then another video we're going to do this week this is one that I just had retested. It's a pattern I already had out there, and then we retested it, and then we are going to make a video of it. And this is a dog rug. And this is really a neat rug because it's stitched with two strands of any worsted weight that you have. We added a dog bone applique and, let me turn it this way so you can see it, a paw print applique. And this rug, I originally made it because when I take my dogs to the vet, I don't want their toenails scratching up my leather seats. And so I just made a little blanket that fits perfectly in the seat. I tuck it down in there, and then I put them in the front seat. Well, I love to take my dogs to Lowe's and Home Depot and PetSmart and stuff. And this blanket fits perfectly in the bottom of the shopping cart. And they can sit on this and not hurt their little paws. Let's see, PetSmart has the plastic ones here, but like Lowe's and Home Depot, and I take my dogs to any store that will let me. I will tell you, I took Maximo, just him, my little white Chihuahua, to Best Buy one time, and they kicked me out. I had him with me, and he was just about 1 year old. He was a little bit tinier. He's put on a little weight this year because he's getting to be an old guy. I had him in my sweatshirt and my shirt, and all you could see was his little head sticking out. And my husband and I were walking around Best Buy, and this guy walks up and says, I had to leave. I said, I do? He goes, yeah, we don't allow dogs in here, and besides, there's kids in here. And I said, kids don't like dogs? I was like, what? And he's like, yeah, you're going to have to leave. There's kids in here. I'm like, okay. My husband goes, well, he put the movies down, the stuff we were going to buy, and we just left. Weirdest thing ever, because he was just a tiny little thing in my sweatshirt. He wasn't bothering anybody. But I take my dogs anywhere that I can if the stores will let me. I never take them to grocery stores and stuff like that. And I will always watch the weather, make sure it's not too hot in case they tell me no and I have to take them. But if they tell me I can't take them, I just go home. But anyway, this blanket works perfect. It's also the perfect blanket to put in the bottom of their crates. Because if you make it out of worsted weight yarn, you can take it out, toss it in the laundry along with your towels, wash it, dry it, and that works up great. Now, it's a good sturdy yarn. I just used whatever worsted weight number 4 yarns I had on hand. So it works out great, and it's a great blanket. So that's what's happening this week at Posh Pooch Designs. A lot. Now, this cowl that I made, another thing you can do is instead of, if you don't want the football on there, you can make a couple of my loopy flowers and stick them on there because they look like pom-poms. I forgot I was going to tell you that. So, and I think it's kind of pretty. Now, I always get this question. If I make your pattern, do I have to make it in the colors that you designed? Absolutely not. If you're a Dallas Cowboy fan, do your colors in Dallas Cowboy. Or this is a great item to make. Now, this yarn here is Hirschner's variegated white and green. And I loved it because it reminds me of the Denver field when they're playing football and it starts to snow. And they keep playing even when it's snowing. And so I thought this worked great. Now, Red Heart Super Saver also has a variegated green and white. This is Hirschner's worsted weight number 4. But Red Heart also has a green and white. And then I saw it at Joann's, and I believe it's the Joann's. I think it's called Twists. I can't remember. But they have a variegated green and white. And if you can't find a variegated green and white, get Sport Weight, white and green, and put them together. And then you can get a green and white that's similar. And you can put your school colors. And if you're one of those people who like to do, what'd she say? Help, I want in that yarn, love, all my yarn behind me. Well, it's a mess. You can see I've got some strings hanging out. It's time to clean the yarn room. But anyway, if you're someone who likes to do craft fairs and stuff, making these in your local school colors and adding that little football, you can add a little soccer ball, volleyball, or just put the pom-poms on there. Anything that you make with school colors always sells really, really well. And the same thing you can do with the Can Cozy, because these are free patterns. Just have fun with it. And that's the whole reason. Yes, I charge for my dog sweater and hat patterns. And somebody asked me the other day, why do you do that? And I do that to help pay for my web page, my blog, all the stuff that goes into what I do. I have to have some money coming in. I mean, I have to feed them too. My dogs eat well. They're not skinny, that's for sure. But anyway, that was one of the questions that I get often is, why do I charge for some patterns and not for others? And basically, most of my dog hats and sweaters and some of the rugs and things that I have on my Etsy, I do charge for. And that's, of course, to help pay for my vet bills and my yarn habit, of course. But also my web page and blog and things like that, my email, things like that, that do cost money. And if I can just bring in enough money to take care of those things, then I can do a lot of this other stuff for free for you. So, and I love putting out patterns for free. And I love finding neat and interesting yarns and coming up with some neat and interesting patterns. And I'm learning, sometimes it's hard, but I'm learning to ignore the negative. And I think you should too. There's too much negative out there. Ignore it. Be happy and choose to be happy. I mean, how can you not be happy when you're surrounded by yarn, right? Well, I'm going to let you go. Thank you all for clinking in. And remember, football season's getting ready to start. Are you ready for some football? See you next week, everybody.